inviting me to give a presentation at this webinar. I am going to share my screen and show you a presentation. I hope it works. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Good. So I'm from the Pollinate Sweden initiative, a network for pollination issues in Sweden. So I have been asked to give a short presentation about Pollinate Sweden and the communication activities that we do, and also a short status from the 2020 red list as well. So I will just guide you through this. And I will not be able to see the chat when I'm speaking, so I do like you, Erin, I will take the questions afterwards. So I've got some feedback about the situation according to the red list from Arthur Larsson at Artdatabanken at SLU. And compared to the 2015 version of the red list, we have 2 less species of bees in the red list, which is a good thing though, but of course a lot of uncertainties. As you can see, we have in the different classifications a total of 97 bees on the red list. And you can see the criteria here. Regional extinct 16, critically endangered 8, endangered 13, vulnerable 25, near threatened 33, data deficient 2, and least concern 192. So that's the state for the bees total. And for the bumblebees, it looks like this. We have had 41 species of bumblebees, and now we have said that 3 of those are extinct today in Sweden. We have 3 regionally extinct ones. We have 1 vulnerable, 8 near threatened, and 28 least concern, and 1 not applicable. So that's from the recent red list from Sweden. So if you want to know more about the details, you please contact the Artdatabanken to find out more information. During the last year, actually 2019, the Swedish government put aside 70 million Swedish crowns in the budget, in the state budget, to be working with issues concerning pollination and pollinators. And you can find more of this in the governmental sites as well, but also from Naturvårdsverket, which is the environmental agency protection. So they have one of the the agencies in Sweden that will work with the pollination and pollinator measures. But these 70 million Swedish crowns has been divided into 7 different agencies. So apart from Swedish Environmental Protection Agency, also the Swedish Board of Agriculture, Swedish Forest Agency, the Swedish Transport Administration, and also Svenska Kraftnät, the Swedish Authority for Transmission System for Electricity, and Swedish Fortification Agency and National Property Board of Sweden are involved in this. So it's a very, I would say, a good collaboration or cooperation between different agencies to try to address this very important question about pollination and the status of pollinators. So for the Environmental Protection Agency, they have divided the funds that they can work with for different measures. So for example, 15 million Swedish crowns are applicable funding for local measures for supporting pollinators through what is called the Lotta fundings. And geographical appointed support to save some of the most vulnerable wild species is also put there, and for 11 million Swedish crown per year. So 7 counties, the county administration are running this, have extra funding for work put for pollinators and pollination. And then also for environmental monitoring for pollinators. So 20 million Swedish crown per year for this. And I've got some extra information about what is going to be done with environmental monitoring. And for example, monitoring of populations, test for identification which pollinators are visiting what, and also monitoring pollinators' exposure to pesticides, and habitat modeling for green infrastructure. So if you want to know more about these, please contact Ola Inge at the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency. So he can enlighten you more. So that's kind of a very quick review of the situation, and we are very happy that we have got some state funding to work extra for measures for pollinators and pollination. So I'm at the Pollinate Sweden network, as I said in the beginning, and we are trying to connect all stakeholders within the field of pollination issues. So we're doing that by gathering a network, and we have a strategy where we think that if we can have all these great things going on, be enlightened or highlighted in such a way that they are accessible from the public who are interested in this question. And we can see we have a lot of interest, a general interest from all of the members or the citizens in Sweden and abroad actually about the topic. So we try to use our platform, Pollinate Sweden, to use it as for messages and a channel for communication. So in that sense, we can connect the practice, the theory we have about pollination, and communicate it in such a sense that it could be applicable for others to say, oh, I can also do things about this. So the funders of the network is, apart from myself, is also Anna Lindlevin, who's communication expert, and we work together to try to get things moving during the year. We have funding for doing this through the National Apiculture Program in Sweden, and also funding from the Environmental Protection Agency in certain parts of it for communication. So by inviting all different stakeholders, ranging from agencies, researchers, non-NGOs working with nature conservation, also beekeepers, farmers, all the different stakeholders within this very complex landscape we have for pollinators to live in. We trying to find what can be done, what can we do together, what can each of us do, and try to strengthen the initiatives in that sense. So here you can see some of the participants in the networks. You also have the garden sector in there, advisory services, and so on. So it's a very open and accepting environment to discuss things. So how did we get intention? So we had this communication strategy. We made a platform where we have information, but we also launched some initiatives. One is called Pollination Week. So that we have a Pollination Week since the first one we had in 2018. So this will be we have been running for a couple of years, not very many, but I would say we have increased the focus on pollination issues during this special week. So we highlight different projects around the county, in the country, both local, national, regional ones. Here you have some examples from different stakeholders. And you can also see this one. It's another aspect of the initiative, a national that we have been highlighting. It's Bespoke, it's called. It's a Swedish and Danish, from our point of view, Swedish-Danish project, but mostly it concerns for the North Sea region, also including UK and Belgium, Netherlands, and some part of Germany in this. And it's a project about how we can collaborate both to enhance crop and also how we can enhance for local pollinators that needs a good approach to have a better diversity. So by connecting these two measures, both benefiting biodiversity and increased crop yield, we could gain a success. So this could be an interesting project as well. And if you want to know more about this, it's a webinar on the 11th of December. It's also focused on using local seed mixes. So this is also in some other activities that we will open up for during the pollination week. We have trying to put focus by showing all these different measures taken for pollinators, giving a very positive touch. So you can see we have a lot of hits on Google if you go there. And this year's pollination week will be in May, the 15th to the 23rd of May. And so we would like to address you to please say if you are going to do something. We can raise it in our channels, and we can spread the word about the importance of pollination and beekeeping and pollinators as well. Because during this week, we have both the World Bee Day, that's more for the beekeeping context. It was a question about mellifera, Apis mellifera mellifera, the brown bee or the black bee in English. It's a special day for that. And then we have the Biodiversity Day, the 22nd of May, and it's a great spring time to really enjoy nature. So that's why we put the dates for the pollination week around these days. So here you can see some of the initiatives going public, because when we go out say now it's pollination week, we also get a lot of attention from other media, and they want to raise what is being done. And this year, 2020, we had also the Swedish royal family promoting, in this case it was honeybees, because they have their own honeybees, but also addressing the pollination question in larger. So we try to share knowledge, and one way of sharing it is making the knowledge available. So we have been producing a different kind of posters, brochures, and kind of called pollination school later on. That could make this knowledge more available for all interested people, and to show that it's not only honeybees, but also a lot of other bee species and insects working within the pollination. So here you can see some examples of what we have been working on. Posters. We actually got an award for these, best information material of the year last year. And we also have some other collaborants. It's a part of Plantagen. That's a garden store. They keep garden stores both in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. And together with them, they have used our material in their stores to inform the customers or to communicate with the customers what they can do to help for pollinators. And also internationally, we have been part of Bee Life, for example, explaining about this, trying to raise, to join forces with European context. We also been in the EU talking about this. And here you can see the pollination school that we produced this year. It's more for kids, but it's also, I would say, a good guide for grown-ups to take part of this. We find different ambassadors working for our cause. We have seed mixes, locally produced seed mixes from Sweden, Mayflowers. So these are also being able to kind of for communication.
1 minute left.
Thank you. And we also have one other thing about except for pollination week, we also have invented, you can say, pollinator of the year. It's a prize to highlight in the engagement. So the first year was 2017, when it was the Swedish Transport Administration in Gotland working with the roadsides. We'll know more about that later on today, I understand. And 2018, it was a farmer who became Niklas Malm, who became the pollinator of the year. And last year it was a seed company producing local seed mixes. So we're called Pratensis. And this year it was biologist Ebba Werner for the fight for flowers along the roadsides. Once more, again, the roadsides, they are very important for the infrastructure for pollinators, I would say. And it's great to see how this prize also gets attention internally. This is from the Hushållningssällskapet. This is a farming advisor company, and they highlighted that they had 3 different of their employees being nominated for the pollinator of the year. So it's great. And we have our website then as a hub for all of this information, both on the web, but also on the social media. And this is a way trying to get the knowledge about pollination issues more reachable for all interested members of the community. So thank you very much.